Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. We are from group 2 and we will explain our material with the title Theory of Scientific Writing Referencing. Before we start up, let me introduce our group member. First, Shela Martika, Saniatul Maslucha, Hestin Ayuningtias, Fabila Arlenda, Cici Hanifah, Amalia Maulidina, and last member, Awliya Syifa Rohana. So, what is referencing? A reference is information about a source from which information in your text has been retrieved. Referencing is also called as citation. Referencing can be defined as a method of acknowledging and recognizing someone for his or her innovation work that you used in your research to back and support your idea. A reference usually includes the name of author, date of publication, name and location of the publishing company, title of the journal or name of the book, title of the research or capture's name, and DOI, Digital Object Identifier. In your document, referencing is done at two levels. First, you need to give a brief reference in the body of the text called as in-text citation. And secondly, a detailed reference is provided at the end of the document in the form of a list. Next, what are the purpose of referencing? First, referencing has become a necessary element of academic writing. Second, it is used to locate the original source of work so that everyone may access the material and understand it in his or her own way. Third, another purpose of it is to fight with plagiarism. You can see the example from the PowerPoint. Next, the reference will differ after what kind of source you are using. You can use book, ebook, journal, website, or etc. Then, referencing styles. There are various standard methods used for citing the source of work. These methods are called as referencing styles or citation styles. All M.Pd 2016. Some common and widely used citation styles are: first, Harvard; second, APE, American Psychological Association referencing style; Vancouver, MLA, Modern Language Association referencing style; Chicago or Tarbiyah referencing style. Next, there are other styles that are not that common but are still required at some places, like ACS, American Chemical Society; AGLC, Australian Guide to Legal Citation; AMA, American Medical Association; CSA or CBA, Council of Science Editors or Council of Biology Editors. And the last, IAAA, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineer.
Harvard referencing style. This style is commonly used in UK and Australia. The general rules for in-text citation is it uses parenthetical system, thus the reference in the text appears like this: author's name, publication year, page number. In the text citation, only the last name or surname of the author is used. Author's name and year of publication are not separated by a comma. A comma is put after the publication year if a page number is mentioned after it. It is also allowed to write the author's name out of the bracket. Punctuation marks such as comma and full stop are used after the citation and not before them. The general rules for reference lists. First, detailed references are listed on a separated page at the end of the document. The title references is given to the list, placed in the center and in bold font. Only those sources are to be listed that has been cited in your work. No reference carries hanging indent. Author's name and the year are not separated by a comma or a full stop. Each reference ends up with a full stop. The list is arranged in alphabetical order with the reference to the first author's surname or the first significant word of the title, if the reference has begun with it in case of the absence of the author's name. The format is author surname, author first name initials, publication year, title. Don't forget to put comma before the title and after the title. Then, how to write the name of an author? In the index citation, only the surname of an author is used. If there are more than one author with identical surname, then the first name or the initial of the first names are also mentioned. In the reference list, the name of an author is written in a way. Last name is written first, and afterwards, initial of the first name are written. No full stop is put after the initial. You can see the example through the display. However, what to do if there are multiple authors of a source? And in the reference list, both of the surname and initial of the two authors are used separated by N. Thus it looks like this. You can see the PPT. ABA referencing style. ABA or American Psychological Association referencing style is similar to the Harvard referencing style, where Harvard is most commonly used in UK and Australia. ABA is more popular in USA. The general rules for index citation and for reference list is very similar with the Harvard referencing style. However, the difference is only on the way to write the name of an author. Then, how to write the name of an author in ABA style? The name of an author is written in a way. Last name is written first, and afterward, initial of the first names are written. Comma is put after the surname, and a full stop is put after each initial. For example, you can see the PPT. The general rules for index citation is author's name, comma, publication year, comma, page number. And then in the reference list, author's surname, comma, author first name or initial, comma, publication year, full stop, and the title. For example, you can see the PPT.
And then for the next slide is about font cover referencing style. What to do if there are multiple authors of a source? Okay, for the first order of names, if there are more than one author of a publication, mention their name exactly in the same sequence as they are presented in the publication. In text citation and reference list entry for 2 to 6 authors, in the in-text citation, only the surnames of the first author is be used, followed by et al. Author, hashtag 1, surname et al. 7. Example, Alfie 7. Whatever times the reference is sits in your work, it is demonstrated with the same number. In the reference list, both the surname and initials of all the authors are used, each separated by a comma. So, author, hashtag 1, surname, author, hashtag first name or initials, author, hashtag 2, surname, author, hashtag 2, first name or initial, author, hashtag 3, surname, author hashtag 3 first name or initial, author hashtag 4 surname, author hashtag 4 first name or initials, author hashtag 5 surname or author hashtag 5 first names or initial, and the last is title. Next, what and how to cite if you have read about a source in another one. In case when you are referencing to a source that is not directly read by you but is cited by a source you have read, the in-text citation appears like this. According to Zahabi, acid in Ghaznawi 5 found that in the reference list, reference of Ghaznawi and not of Zahabi would be provided. And then, what to capitalize in a title? What to capitalize in a title? In all kind of source, capitalization is done for the first letter of the first word of a title and proper nouns. Remember, first letter of a subtitle is not capitalized. Let's go to the next slide. How to write and cite a quotation. If you are writing the exact word of an author without doing paraphrasing, it's called as quotation. In this case, it is essential to mention in the page number. If a quotation is comprised of 2 lines, it goes with the text and it's put into single quotation marks. For example, Ghaznawi 8 mentions olive oil in the blah 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 food, page 15. The full stop is not put before the closing quotation mark, rather it is used after the brackets of citation. If a quotation is comprised of more than 2 lines, it is written in a new line with a 5 space indentations. It is also put in a single quotation marks. General format of reference for various types of sources. Name of authors or editors are written the same way as they are guided above, i.e., first the surname is written followed by the initial of the first name. Let's go to the next slide. MLA or Modern Language Association of America referencing style. Here, how to write the name of an author. In the text citations, only the surname of an author is used. If there are more than one author with identical surname, then the first name or the initial of first names are also mentioned. In the reference list, the name of an author is written in a way. Last name is written first, and afterwards first names or the initials of the first name are written. A comma is put right after the last name of author, and a full stop is put after the initial. For example, Khalid Ghaznawi is written as Ghaznawi, Khalid or Ghaznawi, K. And what to do if there are multiple authors of a source? Order of name. If there are more than one author of publications, mention their names exactly in the same sequence as they are presented in the publication. In-text citation and reference list entry for 2 authors. In the in-text citation, only the surnames of the 2 authors are used separated by and. Whatever times the reference is cited in your work, it appears the same. In the reference list, the name of first author is written in a way the surname is written first followed by a comma, and then first name or the initials of first names. The name of second author is written the same way as it is written in a footnote, i.e., first names first and the surname last. Names of the 2 authors are separated by and. So how to write and cite a quotation in this style? If you are writing the exact words of an author without doing paraphrasing, it is called a quotation. If a quotation contains less than 4 lines of prose or 3 verses of poetry, it goes with the text and is put into double quotation marks. The full stop is not put before the closing quotation mark, rather it is used after the brackets of citation. 2 verses are separated by an oblique sign, which is preceded by followed by a space. If a quotation contains more than 4 lines of prose or 3 verses of poetry, it is written as a black quotation with 1-inch indentation. It is not put in any quotation mark. The closing full stop of quotations is put before the brackets of citation. If the quotation of a prose contains multiple paragraphs, it indent first line of each paragraph a 1/4 inch extra, and in case of poem, maintain the original formatting or lines break punctuation and etc. Okay, that's all for font cover and MLA style, referencing style.
Chicago referencing style. General rules for in-text citation and footnotes. Number 1. The reference of the source is provided in the footnote preceded by the numeric digit mentioned in your text followed by a full stop. Number 2. There may exist a variation in the amount of information in each footnote. Number 3. When the source is cited for the first time, complete information is to be mentioned. Number 4. In the subsequent footnote, the letter may also be reduced if it carries more than 5 words. How to write the name of an author? Writing the name in footnotes. The name of author is written as it is. Example, the first name or S of author is or R followed by the last name. The initial of the first name, each followed by a full stop, may also be used. Writing the names in reference list. The last name of author is written first followed by the first name or the initial of the first name. If the initial of the first name are used, a full stop is put after them. A comma is put right after the last name of author. ACS referencing style. System of referencing. It allows the use of both the system of referencing, example, the parenthetical system, and the note system. Using parenthetical system, a brief in-text reference containing the name of author and year of publication is given in round brackets. Using note system, in-text citation is done with a numeric digit. General rules for in-text citation. For note system, using note system of referencing, in-text citation may be done in one of the following 2 ways: by superscript numbers, by italic number in parentheses. For parenthetical system, author name and year of publication is written in parentheses. Thus, in-text citation appear like this: author name, publication year. Only the last name or surname of the author is used. Author's name and year of publication are separated by a comma. For the next style is AMA referencing style or American Medical Association. For the introduction, AMA referencing style is published in the form of American Medical Association Manual of Style, a guide for authors and editors, which is a product of American Medical Association. The system of referencing are: first, it uses the note system of referencing, and second, using this style, in-text citation is done with a numeric digit, and then the tiled references are provided at the end of the document on a separate page. This citation style is used in the fields of medicine and science. General rules for in-text citation. Number 1. A number to each reference is given in the superscript without any parenthesis, which is positioned right after the relevant punctuation mark, such as full stop, comma, and etc. Number 2. Number to each source is given in the sequence as it appears in your document. Number 3.
If you cite the same source again in your document, use the same number that you have used previously for the source in your work. Number 4, if you have supported your argument by more than one source, you need to mention it in your in-text citation in the form of numeric digits separated by a comma. The citation will appear as follows. There is a disagreement among scholars. If you have made a reference to a sequence of entries, hyphen minus is used instead of comma. There is a disagreement among scholars. Okay, next, general rules for reference list. The tiled references are listed on a separate page at the end of the document. The title references is given to the list placed on the left margin and in bold font. Only those sources are to be listed that has been cited in your work. Each reference ends up with a full stop. The list is arranged in the same order as the references appear in your work. And next, each entry is preceded by the number digit used for it in the next, like this one. You can look. And next, name of author is written this way. Surname is written first followed by the initials of first name. No full stop is put after the initials. And next, for a source having 1 to 6 authors, write the name of all the authors. If there are more than 6 authors of a source, write only the names of first 3 authors followed by et al. And names of authors are separated by a comma. The titles of periodicals, like journals, magazines, and newspapers, are written in abbreviated form. In case of absence of author, the reference starts with the title of the source. Titles of a bigger source, such as a book or a journal, are italicized. Okay? Titles which are a part of a bigger work, such as a chapter of a book, article in a journal or newspaper, are neither italicized nor enclosed in any question marks. For titles of books, book chapters, journal articles, or newspaper articles, capitalization is done only for first letter of the first word and proper nouns. For titles of journals, capitalization is done for all the significant words. And various bits of information are ordered as follows: author's name, title of article or chapter, title of source, place of publication, name of publisher, year of publication, edition or volume number and issue number, page numbers, and URL or DOA. And next, AGLC referencing style. What is that? Australian Guide to Legal Citation Referencing Style is a product of Melbourne University Law Review Association, which is published in the form of Australian Guide to Legal Citation. The system of referencing is: it uses the knot system of referencing. An in-text citation is done with a numeric digit when the reference is provided in the form of footnote at the end of each page. General rules for in-text citation. Number 1, a number to each reference is given in the superscript without any parenthesis, which is positioned after the relevant punctuation mark, such as full stop, comma, and etc., whatever information is provided. Number 2, number to each source is given in the sequence as it appears in your document. Number 3, if you cite the same source again in your document, designate it a new number. Number 4, if you have supported your argument by more than one source, all the sources are cited with only one numeric digit. General rules for footnotes. The reference of the source is provided in the footnote preceded by the superscript numeric digit mentioned in your text. There is a space between the number and the reference. Number 2, there may exist a variation in the amount of information in each footnote. Number 3, when the source is cited for the first time, complete information of it is to be mentioned. And next, subsequent footnotes may be shortened by either shortening of title or omitting any other piece of information. If the two or more footnotes following each other are exactly identical except the page numbers, the word "ibit" may be used instead of the reduced information. Making a reference to a source that has been mentioned previously but is not just reading above is written in place of ibit. If you have used multiple sources to pick your argument in your text, they are cited with a single number. In footnote, each source is separated from one another with a semicolon, and each footnote ends up with a full stop. Next, name of the author is written the same way as it is. First name first and surname last. And the last, if there are more than 3 authors, name of only first author is written followed by et al.
The next referencing style is CSE. The CSE, or Council of Science Editors, referencing style is published in the form of scientific style and format. The CSE Manual for Authors, Editors, and Publishers, which is a product of the Council of Science Editors. In CSE, citation name format, references are listed alphabetically, and then the reference list is numbered. When citing in the text of your document, you will refer to them by number. Use the appropriate reference number in subscript, in superscript, within or at the end of a paragraph or bulleted line. CSE style uses a reference list, not a bibliography, which means that you only list items cited in your poster. There must be agreement between the sources cited in your work and the sources listed in the reference section. And for the next is IEEE referencing style. IEEE, or Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, referencing IEEE, or Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, is an extensively acknowledged format of citation in technical fields. It is published in the form of IEEE style manual. How to cite reference IEEE documentation style. IEEE citation style is used primarily for electronics, engineering, telecommunications, computer science, and information technology reports. The three main parts of a reference are as follows: author's name, list as first initial of first name, then full last. Title of article, patent, conference paper, etc. in quotation marks. Then, title of journal or book in italics. This system allows the reader to identify the information sources at a glance. All punctuation, dates, and page numbers depend on the type of reference cited. So follow the example with care. Please note this style guide is wide-ranging, but not all sources are identified. Further research may be required.
Okay guys, thank you for your nice attention, and I hope you are enjoy to our presentation and like it. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you guys.